It is August here on the farm, and as we've now been here over a year, I can say it's our second August here. But this time we have our new Kloss Tryon to harvest with and a couple of more fields. There's much more in this episode as well, including discussing a new land purchase which will help our farm out in the future and some stuff that we'll be putting up for sale. You can find a link to this series down in the description or the comments below, and of course check out the channel page for other farming series you might like. Well, I worked some more early this month on this silo. If you recall, at the end of July, there's a lot of silage in here for fixing feed for the cattle, and well, there's still a lot. Made a few more batches. Our cattle, I'll close the door over here. Our cattle are good, but yeah, there's still plenty there. But it's August and it's harvest time, and I'm happy to say that our fields are all mostly ready to harvest. We've got this wheat field right here, and we've got that wheat field there. Now, over here we got oats planted. It'll be ready next month, that little line of green there. Well, we'll see when we get over there. There's some tree work. You'll see what I mean, that I want to do in this field before we harvest it. And then our field 103 down south is ready to harvest. And then there's another field down by field 103, and I'll take you guys down there. It's a field actually that I bought for us, and I'll explain some about that, and we'll go down there later. It's a fairly small, just 1 hectare field. I'll show you that and a couple of, there's other things to do today also as well. So, well, let's get to harvesting because it's our second August here. And remember last August we harvested with that old FMZ? Well, this August we're harvesting with our brand new Kloss 720 Tryon. And let's see, we're going to want to, we've already got our truck parked out there. Yeah, I can see it on the road over there. So we're just going to carefully pull this out there. And we're still using the, I know that at the end of July, I discussed it'd be nice to have a bigger header. We've got a powerful harvester, and we've got some slightly bigger fields, but, you know, I think we're really fine with this header. There's no reason to buy a bigger header. And I parked the tractor in a pretty inconvenient spot there. Yeah. Carefully out to the field. In the future, I'd like to get us some more space, and that's something I'm kind of working on here. Now, of course, this field up here, if you guys have been watching the series, you'll know that we're expanding this field, and what, you know, right now it's just this small little, maybe 0.7 hectare wheat field, but this oat field here beside it was planted as a planned expansion to it. Man, I'm just parking everything right in the way. Yeah, I parked that truck there not thinking that I'm going to need to get the harvester in here, but yeah, we had room. Oh yeah, I said there's some tree work out here. Yeah, something I've been thinking about. Let me get this out in the field, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. Oh, we got to watch for traffic. The traffic here, you know, sometimes they're polite, but you'd think they'd be a little more aware of tractors given all the farms around here. All right. I think we're clear to go through here. Oh, of course, I need to unfold the harvester. I'm trying to get this guy out of the road here. And do I have my swath turned on? Now I do. All right, we're going to park this here for a second. All right, so right here, if you recall last August, our very first month here, when I harvested, yeah, this tree limb here was a problem. Well, I brought a tool for that. Yeah, it didn't occur to me last year when we did this. It didn't occur to me at all that the solution was quite simple. The solution is quite simple here. And you know what? I think that will do it right there, although it couldn't hurt to take off this other limb as well. If I can get close enough. Well, I can't. Now, I was going to try to prop up the limb and stand up on it, but I can't. So we're going to have to hope that that's enough, and if not, then, well, we'll just stand on top of the truck and get it, but hopefully that should be enough. Let's just get this over here in this grass field out of the way for now. That should allow us to pass through underneath in the harvester. Now, this is a pretty small field, and this will go pretty quick. Yeah, so right here, see, when we did the field expansion, I went ahead and planted oats in it because I figured no reason not to plant something in it, because this field had wheat planted in it, and I couldn't join the fields together until one was harvested. So, right, I figured we may as well grow something in the meantime. And next month we'll be able to join these two together because those oats will be ready to harvest. And we might be able to make that field a little bit bigger as well. There's still some more land out there. But it's good that, you know, as long as we're getting some bigger tools, that we have some bigger spaces to work in with them. This field gets a little tight here in this area. Alright, well that took a minute, but now let's see if we can get along the road here. Hopefully that one tree branch was all we had to trim off. Nice and careful. No. It looks like, let's see here. Yeah, no, we still need to make some more, well, I'm going to have to climb up here and see what I can do. Well, this is turning into more of an operation than I thought. We're going to have to, I'm going to see if I can, if I raise the header on the harvester, maybe that's enough to climb up on. I had to get a little creative with it here. See if I can get an angle at it. Right about there. And I'm not sure that's it. Let's see, let's move this out of the way. Let's toss that over there. Oh, I tossed it in the road. Well, and right here. You know, that should be enough. But as long as we're up here, we can get that limb now, too. All right, that's got to do us. That's got to be good there. I'll get these out of the way. Let's get these out of the way of the cars here. Let's toss this over here. And we got this guy here. All right. We have made room. Okay, well, I tried climbing on top of stuff. It wasn't working, and then right when I thought I was going to have to do something different, I was like, you know, what if I raised the header? Yeah, I guess that's all we needed. That is all we needed. Now this turn is tight here. Ah, there we go. A little tight working in these trees here. Trying to see where we're going. Can I see better here? Yeah, actually we can. You can see better here. Go figure, right? All right. Oh, where's our crops? There we go. Yeah, most of this field is the outside. All we got to do now is clean up the inside here. And yeah, so I bought a field down south, and we did have more money. It cost 70 grand. It'll be worth it here in a couple months. It'll probably become clear what we're doing with it, and I'll talk some about the money when we get down there, because there's some money related stuff down there. You'll see. And yeah, speaking of money, I've been thinking of some ways that I could free up some more. And, well, I've been taking care of the cattle, and every time I go into the cattle barn, there's that skid steer in there. And, you know, I've really only used it a couple times since we got it. It's always just in there, and I keep pulling it forward. If you've been watching the series, you've seen me pull it forward out of the way so I can get the tractor in there. And it did kind of occur to me, you know, I guess we don't need it, you know. Selling that to free up some money might just be a good thing. I mean, it's a good little skid steer. I've hardly used it at all. I guess when I got it, it seemed like we were going to need it, but it's not really looking like it because I just never do. And we'll be pretty busy this month with our fields. We've got, well, let's see, 3 wheat fields to harvest that are ours. I believe it's 3. This one, that one. Well, this one, the one right over there in our backyard, kind of, you could say, and then field 103 down south, but also the field that I bought previously. Oh, yeah, I parked the truck up there on that road because, well, obviously there was no place to park it here. Now that there is, I can pull the truck back here. Once we get up here, I'm going to run over and grab our truck. Get it parked over here. Now that we got a place to put it. We'll look both ways for sure here. and see if we can sneak across the road. There we go. Oh, yeah, shut down. All right. And all of these wheat fields, we're going to have a lot of baling to do. Straw sells decently well. There is that. You know, we need the straw for our cattle, but we're going to have a lot of straw. I planted the wheat fields because we have cattle, and we didn't really have straw at the time. So it was like, well, I'm going to have to plant some more wheat because we got, you know, we need straw for the cattle. But I think I kind of overdid it because we got 3 wheat fields plus the one that I purchased, and it's going to be a lot of straw. So we'll be able to sell quite a bit probably, I'm guessing. I think we're going to have a pretty good excess of straw. And that is this field just about done. At least for this part anyway. Let's get this emptied out. What we'll do is we'll run this down to our silo, check out the fields down there, and I'll show you the one that I purchased and a couple things down there. It's got such a long auger. Yeah, this harvester is intended to have a much wider header, but you know what? For now, this 6.5 meter header is perfectly fine. You know, until we have to start harvesting fields that are more than, well, it harvested that 3.5 hectare field last month that we did for a contract. It harvested that just fine. That was 3.5 hectares. Unless we have a field that's like 10 hectares or something, I'd say this header right here is perfectly fine. Now you will have to get this. Well, let's see. The next field we're doing is right there, and then we'll have to get this down south, and that's where we're going right now. Let's take this to the silo because I want to show you what I was talking about down there. We'll go ahead and get this parked down there because it's the next place the harvester will be going, kind of. And is there an easier way? Yeah, actually there is an easier way down there from right here. If we turn right onto the road, we'll cut through, well, it's not cutting through. There's a dirt road up here. There's a dirt road up here by my friend's cattle farm. We can take that south, down to the south road, and then over to where our silo is. It may not actually be shorter, but it's straighter and more direct. Less stuff to swerve around, less equipment and houses to squeeze between going down this way. You can look around here and see there's lots of fields that need harvesting. Quite a bit. However, surprisingly, no contracts for it, at least not the last time I checked. So far, this August, just baling contracts. Still no harvest contracts, but I'm not too worried about that. Although I was looking forward to doing as much harvesting as I can. We've got really plenty with our own fields. And there's our new silo. If you guys saw last episode, then you've seen our silo. And if you haven't seen the previous episodes, I'll have a link below, of course, to the entire playlist. There's this field. We'll be doing something with this relatively soon, I'd imagine. Now let's go ahead and let's detach this here. There's not a whole lot of room to pull out on the other side, so easier if we don't have a trailer. And, there we go. I was looking for the prompt. Didn't have the trailer selected, the bed selected. All right, that silo is going to come in so darn handy. A great addition to the farm. All right, so the field I purchased is down here. Just over there behind, well, it's hard to really, I can't really point, but it's down there at about it's down there behind the shop. There's a kind of a grain mill silo type thing down there, and it's behind that. We'll go up here and see. All right, so this field right here, I think it's exactly 1 hectare, and well, I got it for its location. Again, this will come into play in the future, but I was down here, and this is, yeah, it's wheat. It's ready to go. I've spent quite a bit of time here in Szpakowo. Actually, you know, I just had a thought. I completely, let's walk toward I get turned around. Let's walk toward this store. I just had a thought. I completely spaced it. I had a comment on a video last night, and someone said it's not pronounced Szpakowo, it's pronounced Szpakowo. And of course, I mean, it's an honest mistake. I don't know how to pronounce Polish, so I used the Russian pronunciation, and that's what he said in the comment. Actually, he said that I was correct if I was using Russian, but it's Polish. I commented back and I said, yeah, actually, I don't know how to pronounce Polish, so yeah. So apparently it's Szpakowo. All right, so I found a. Oh yes, so the reason I'm back here behind these silos, yeah, there's the reason I came back here. I found a collectible earlier. And actually, I snagged a screenshot of it real quick. I wasn't recording. I snagged a screenshot of it because what it did was it wasn't just $1,000. I thought it was just $1,000 collectible. I picked it up and it said $1,000, $50,000 because I didn't know it, but it was the end of the set of tractors. And I was like, crap, I don't want the viewers to see the video and be like, where do you get $50 extra $1,000 from? Whatever, no big deal, right? But I took a screenshot of it anyway. I was like, well, here, it was the end of a set. And then when I bought this field, I'm getting to this. When I bought that wheat field there, I was like, hey, I haven't been back here. Let's look for a collectible. I looked for a lot of collectibles around this map, and I found a lot. I found the 60-some, and it's definitely helped with some of our funding. Well, I was back here, and I saw this one, and I was like, let's not pick this up. I'll wait until I'm recording in case this is the end of a set also or something like that. I don't know. But you can see how sneaky these are hidden on this map. I mean, how would you ever find this? And yet I found like 68. I found 68. In 91 hours on this map. So I've been around the map quite a bit, as you can imagine. Well, anyway, there's this guy right there. And no, that's a $10,000 token. There's 3 more of those left. I don't know. But I picked up that tractor earlier, and I was like, oh, crap. That was the end of a set. I didn't know it. Now there's 50 grand. But anyway, not that it matters too terribly much, but I like to keep the money consistent. Now, there's one more note on collectibles. Let's get back to the truck. So this field here, this will come into play later. For now, this will be harvested this month, and we'll start doing some things out here. Also regarding collectibles, I found 2 invisible ones. Yeah, no, that's weird, right? And how did I find them if they're invisible? Because I'm very thorough. Is how I found 2 invisible ones. That were, what were they? 15,000 each, and so I got curious about it, and I said to myself, I wonder if these are seasonal. Like maybe they're invisible because they're not here in July. I got the impression they were Christmas presents. I went around and actually found 6 more of them. I found 8. There's 10 of them total, and I found 8 out of the 10, even though they're invisible. I picked up 2. There's 6 left. I know where they're at, but I didn't pick them up yet because I figured I think they're Christmas presents. Let's wait for December because this map has seasonal decorations on it, which is really cool. So we're going to wait for December, and then there's 6 Christmas presents, which I noted their position. We can go grab those. I wanted to mention that to you guys. I like to do everything above board, you know what I mean? And so I wanted to mention that stuff about collectibles. I found those last month. I have spent, every once in a while I spend some time, dedicated time, searching around the map for hidden things and such like that. You can always find, you can find some cool stuff. So we are going, actually, well, this is where we want the truck. Let's park it, Field 103 is directly behind us. All right, so we'll just park this here in the grass because this is the next place we're going to want to load grain. That small field by our house is pretty small. No problem harvesting it with what space is in the hopper. All right, down here by our small little backyard size field, and we need room to now this is a small field, which we'll be getting rid of this field soon. This is just it's really too small to be significant at all for what we're doing. Now anyway, it was great to start off with. This will be technically this is our first and I guess only harvest with this little field, because when we got here, this field was fallow. Well, no, it wasn't. It was broken corn stalks. It was just a neglected old cornfield. And so we planted wheat in it the first year, and this is the first harvest of it, but well, that's okay. It's such a small field. I had a look, and I think it'll sell for about 24,000 or something. See, even the field itself is so small that even its sale won't be that significant. Oh, there's our cedar right there. Of course, I haven't been looking for it or anything, but I completely forgot that I had this parked here. Well, okay, I'll keep that in mind. And this field, I think, is only about 1/3 of a hectare or something. But let's go ahead and get this harvested, and of course, unfold my tool again. I knew that. No, I was traveling on the road, so I had to fold it up. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of straw to bale, which is totally fine. Yeah, we'll be selling this field. And since I've already decided that, there's no reason not to sell it now. We might do that today, sell this field and that skid steer. I mean, I've decided I'm going to sell those things. Might as well now. We're going to need money for an upcoming kind of venture that I have planned for the farm. Yeah, so more regarding the collectibles on the map. If you guys plan to play on Szpakowo, I guess, if you plan to play here, there's a lot, and they can definitely be very profitable. However, to be fair, I've put in a lot of time to find the ones that I found, and also a lot of them aren't worth crap. Some of them only worth $10. There's like one collection that's only worth $10 each. One collection of them is only worth $15 each. Now, I've not finished either of those, and I don't know what the end bonus is for those. But some of them are, there's one collection that's like 20 grand, one collection that's 15, one that's 10. And those, I think I've completed 2 of them now. They give you 50 grand when you completed them. So spread out over time, I guess. Spread out over time, especially when we're working with the small equipment that we had at the beginning. It was a pretty big boost to the money here and there. Some maps have it, and I always like when they do. It rewards exploration and such like that. But anyway, back to the farming thing here. But I wanted to include a bit about that because I've spent so much time around the area exploring absolutely everything. But apparently, I had, 68 out of 100? And even in all the tens of hours I've spent exploring, I still 32 have eluded me, so they can be sneaky. So yeah, this field is going to go pretty darn quick. Obviously, it's a third of a hectare. Come on. Now, with these fields harvested, I always enjoy the harvest, but with these fields harvested, that means there's going to be fun field work to do, which means in the coming months, our Case IH and our Big Bud, the big tractors, they're going to get some work put in them because, I've not been using, in fact, since we've had the Big Bud, we've only used it for one thing. Well, we'll get to use those things coming up, our big tools for tilling and stuff like that. I'm looking forward to being able to use them. And I mentioned when I got the Big Bud, I mentioned that to get it serviced, we're going to have to take it back to the city. And yeah, that's true. And I mentioned keeping an eye out for a low loader to take it there on. Yeah, but what I didn't think about was we haven't really put any use on it yet. I'm not sure when it's going to need repairs. Of course, it's going to get some use this fall. We'll see. I was kind of looking forward, honestly, to the challenge of, just the logistical challenge of getting it on a trailer and getting it there. But that'll have to wait until it actually needs repairs, of course, I guess. Sometimes planning things out is half the fun. All right, that is this field done. We can take this, you know what? We can just drive this straight down there. Yeah, we don't even have to unhook the header or anything. Assuming we can get it past where I parked that trailer. I parked the trailer kind of cockeyed across the road. I forget exactly how I parked it, but I think we can sneak it through here, actually. Get it down to our field 103. Can I be sneaky? Yep, we could be sneaky if we're very careful. Oh, okay, I thought that trailer might have been in the way. Apparently not. Whoa, just now I pulled past the trailer and it gave me a prompt to connect it. I don't see why not. We'll take it down there with us because we'll want it. And let's see, where's the turn off? I miss it sometimes. There it is, right there. Oh, but can we get the combine down it? Let's see. This makes getting down to the field a bit of a shortcut. Well, if we're going behind the field, but it is a quicker way to the field. We'll take this little road right here. Ooh, wow, that is tight. You know what? No. Screw that. It's not a shortcut if you have to be that careful with it. Ooh, tight fit between the corn. Yeah, these small villages in Poland, lots of small spaces. Lots of tight, small spaces that don't necessarily help big equipment. But, we're going to see some... we got some creative things coming up, so here is our wheat field 103. Of course, you guys have been down here before. We did so much work down here last year. Trying to pick up the rocks that wouldn't come up. I never did solve that, and other things. Planted it. yeah, I don't know. We've been down here. I mean, when we got this field, it was completely empty. So we've done all the field work on this. Now, it is supposed to rain today, but forecast says it's going to be around lunchtime, and it's just supposed to be some light showers. It's not supposed to rain a whole bunch. So I was worried when I saw the forecast, but it's just supposed to be some light showers, and they'll pass in a bit, so it won't hurt our harvesting plans too much, really at all. Now this field, I forgot, this one's quite a bit bigger than the other ones. Yeah, I got over that crest, and yeah, this just keeps going. I mean, this is no large field by any standard, but oh, it's nice to harvest something that's fairly long and open compared to that one up by the road. Now, hopefully we can make it to the truck so we can empty it. I didn't think it was going to be an issue, but it's filling up awfully fast. Filling up awfully fast back there. Yeah, that'd be a lot of wheat. And it looks like I parked that header trailer right directly in our way. Well, I think we can get around that. Luckily, this harvester has an absurdly long auger. Well, it's not. It's absurdly long for the tools we have. There we go. I guess there is that advantage of still having the small header on the front, is that, yeah, it lets us get around in more places. You know, that's true. I was able to drive this back here with it attached. Yeah, wouldn't have been able to do that had we upgraded. But they can be so expensive, and none of them have been on. There's not been any used ones on offer. Here's the stuff this month. I had a look already, and it's nothing that we need. Some stuff that might be cool, like this seed cart is pretty cool, but no, nothing there really. Yeah, I was hoping to find a larger header, but yeah, you know. Until we have a field, like I said earlier, you know, yeah, unless we have a field that's like, I'd say over 5 hectares, this is fine here. Although, as we noticed, when was it? It was last month, baling that triticale field, the narrow header actually impacts you in 2 ways. It takes more passes to harvest, and also it kind of takes way longer to bale as well, because we have all of these, yeah, the windrows of straw are much closer to one another. More runs with the baler as well. And to bale all of these fields that we're harvesting now, of course, we'll be using our baler, our round baler, which makes smaller bales than those big square bales we were making. That was equipment we were leasing. Our equipment, yeah, it's going to make smaller bales, and of course, because they're round, they're a little more finicky to pick up, because backing up and such to drop them. It's fun to see all the progress that we've made here in the last year. You know, just looking at our equipment, like just the equipment we have here at this field, you know, just right now, this harvester, even that truck there. If you recall, I was just remembering, oh yeah, you know, when I first came here, all we had was that red GMC, and I loved that truck. But it's funny to think how much has progressed. We had that dark red FMZ harvester, we had the red GMC, we didn't have any of this stuff yet. Not to mention some of the, you know, that big bud tractor over there. That was a heck of a deal when I saw that thing used, you know. I'd like to use it more, and well, when we get bigger fields, oh, it'll be used more. Our Zader has really been the real workhorse, and of course, you know, if you have been watching the series, we didn't come here with that either. In fact, we only bought that just last, was it last November, I think we bought the Zader. That thing's been the real workhorse. That thing has racked up more hours than any other vehicle, I think. I think by now it's surpassed the amount of work hours even that I had on the red Ursus that we sold recently. Well, one more run back up to north, and we've got this field done. And that just leaves, the only one left to harvest is the one I just recently purchased. And I'm not going to bother leaving a swath of straw here because, well, this is not enough to matter. And we would have 3 super close together straw swaths, and that would just be annoying with the baler. So we're just going to toss all of this out on the field. Kind of do a little stage of pre-fertilization here, I guess. I think we've got plenty of straw coming our way. So yeah, I'll be spending a good part of what remains of the month baling straw. We're also going to get that field behind me there harvested, and probably no reason not to start on that today. really, because it's kind of all that was on the docket was this month anyway, harvesting our fields and baling straw. Next month I can get started on, well, that empty field down there that we plowed last month or whenever it was. We could plant that next month with wheat, or it could wait until next year. It's that field, I don't know. But remainder of this year, we got plenty of field work to do, of course, on all the fields that we just harvested. Yeah, now this field down here is such a handy location. We can just drive this right over there to it. Now it's 1 full hectare, so it's, how big is this field? This is 0.8? Yeah, 0.8. So the field down there that we're going to next, that's officially our largest field. But I've got other plans for it aside from being a field, so it's just getting this one harvest, and it's going to service, we'll see, in a different way. And what kind of volume do we have here? Let's go ahead and run this down to the silo. Yeah, let's shut this down. Let's go ahead and run this down to the silo and see what kind of yield we got from our 3 main fields here. Now in the future, I'd like to have a road put in here so we can, well, just be better with a road. And it is awfully close to our neighbor's field there. It really is. And yeah, so I know. So it's like, why did I put it so close to their field? Well, I wasn't putting it close or far from their field. I had it placed here because here it lines up. I'm a bit of a, well, I'm not a perfectionist, but there's no way I'm going to put that off center and annoy both you and me, you know. I'm not going to trigger everyone's OCD by putting that off center. You see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I didn't align it with our field or their field. I aligned it with this building so as not to trigger my darn OCD. And, it does happen to be a little close to this field, though. We could have a look at buying this field perhaps in the future. I mean, this would be a nice field to have. But for right now, I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's just a bit of a tight squeeze is all. Well, it's just a grass field. It's not like we can't drive on a grass field. But I think we can make it through here, actually. No, we're not going to be able to. Yeah. We're going to have to back up. Yeah. We'll see something about that. If we can put a road through here or something, if I can encroach a little bit on his land, I don't know. Either way, any way you look at it, it is my fault for having it put there. But yeah. So let's dump this in our silo here, and yeah, this silo, oh, it works great. Yeah, it's got just enough room for this truck to, this truck to fit through here as well. Let's dump this in here, and we'll see how much we've got. Much better than our little backyard silo, which, oh yeah, that's something else we're going to be selling. Yeah, we're selling that field, we're selling that skid steer, and, well, that's the thing. With this big silo back here, we don't need that small backyard silo. So I mentioned something earlier about wanting to kind of build up some money, and yeah, there's some stuff we'll be selling. In fact, that's what we can do with the remainder of what time we have today, because that field down there, that's just more harvesting. Let's do something fun. All right, silo says we've got 22,000 liters of 22,000 liters of wheat. So I guess that's pretty good. We'll see. Well, that should sell, if we wait till wintertime to sell it, that should be pretty decent. Now, let's park this truck back here, and I'm trying to figure if there's a way that we can get that skid steer loaded on the back of it. Well, one thing is I just recalled that our flatbed is down at the shop. Well, I'm trying to think if there's a way we can get the, if we could get the skid steer up on the truck, because this thing has a top speed of a whopping 12 miles an hour, and it'd be faster to get it to the store to put it for sale if we put it on the truck. But yeah, I've thought of some creative things. Well, one problem being, yeah, see, the truck's flatbed, and I thought of a great creative way to get it into the back of the truck, but the flatbed's down there, and the time it would take me to drive the truck back down there, get it, bring it up here, creatively load the skid steer, and then drive it back down there. And that time, yeah, we could have just driven the skid steer down there. So yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen anyone with a skid steer load it or onto a flatbed. There are tricky ways to do it, but I don't think it's worth the time, unfortunately, because I love doing tricky stuff. Well, so while we're here, Yeah, you know, I hate to... Man, this silo is such a great silo. I love it, but we don't need it, and it's more space to park things. Yeah. Well, you know what? Nah, not just yet. Oh, we'll sell it. We'll sell it. Not just yet, though. Let's hang on to this. And the field, actually, not yet either, because we've got straw down on it. Yeah, we got to get the straw up. Once we're done with the field, I'll sell this. And I just checked, and yeah, it's $24,000 that this field will sell for. Really not much, but it's kind of not worth keeping, especially with us having bigger machinery and moving on to bigger lands. As far as this, though, let's see, can I see how much? I really may as well. We've got that new silo down south. Let's see here. Is it going to tell me if I already checked and it's empty? So yeah, that'll sell for $10,000. See, this was a really cheap, it was a really low cost, small capacity silo. So, all right. So when I do sell this, we'll get $15,000 for these. I love this silo. I mean, maybe I'll build a new one at a new place just to I really like it. I don't want to get rid of it, but at the same time, 15 grand we could use. So let's see about getting this down to our newly acquired field. Let's see. I think I got room to turn this around here. Get this down to that wheat field and get ready to catch that harvest. And it looks like, is that a grass field beside it? I didn't think that it... No, I don't think it is. It's hard to tell from this distance with the way this works with the draw distance and everything. I think it's a cornfield down there. Well, I'm looking for a place to park our truck. Yeah, it's a cornfield. Trust me, this field, this wheat field here is definitely in a strategic position, but for harvesting, not quite so much. Well, I think we're going to have to leave the truck back on the road over there because, well, that's not our field beside me there, obviously. Yeah, we're going to have to leave the truck back here on the road and harvest once we run yeah, it's true. Once we run the harvester down just a little bit, we'll have room to pull the truck onto the field and pick up the grain. The truck will be just fine right there. Let's get this guy over there and more harvesting. Man, this is a sweet harvester. That was so awesome. It was awesome, but, well, it was bittersweet when this came up for sale because we had just purchased that Claas Lexion, that Lexion 430. It just so happens that its newer, better big brother here was cheaper. Yeah. But as you recall, this came with 30 hours already on it. It's going to take a little more upkeep to keep new, but hey, you know, it's a great harvester. Yeah, this thing is awesome. I love it. So this goes all the way back up to the shop. Well, kind of. I guess, well, you saw because we were up there. That building directly ahead of us is like some grain storage, and up there you see those silos. That is a sell point. There's a sell point right there. And right, if you squint right ahead of me up there at about the 1 o'clock, you can see those red Zader tractors. Those are parked up there. That's the dealership right up ahead of us. Now, of course, there's a fence between us and it, so it's not like we can drive straight through to it or anything. But there's that handy little access road literally right there. In fact, there's that road right there, and then behind us, that road we were just on, that road there goes down to a southern road down there. That back there, maybe I can put an arrow on the screen for you. That back there, that's one of the bale sell points. So this right here, it's really well connected to all the back road networks. And might I add also, on this side of Szpakowo, the largest fields and the biggest network of back roads in what's the word? In proximity to the shop. All kind of the nexus is kind of like in a couple of places, but right here is one really good spot. This field is like kind of strategically located, I guess you could say, is what I'm getting at. Now, can I get turned around here? Because I don't fancy backing up all the way up the field. Yeah, I think we can. We'll do this number here until we have more room. We'll do this. There we go. Look at that cornfield. If you guys have been watching the channel for long, you know I love cornfields. I do. Brings me back to my childhood days playing in the cornfields. When I was a kid, we had a 3.5 acre yard, and it was surrounded on, well, surrounded all the way up to, right to our lawn on 3 sides by cornfields, and then the other side technically also, but there's a road there. But yeah, I grew up surrounded by cornfields in Indiana. All right, now I need to get some room to get the truck down here so we can unload into it. Well, I'm going to get this truck down here and start getting this wheat loaded up. This is the last field we got to harvest of, well, at least of our fields this month. There's always other stuff to do. Guys, thanks so much for joining me today here in August, middle of August, on our farm in Szpakowo. I hope you guys enjoy the series, and let me know what you think down in the comments below, and know that I appreciate your comments and I appreciate your subscription. I appreciate you guys hanging around and watching. And if you want to catch previous episodes that maybe you missed or things like that, there's a link down below. Always open to your comments and suggestions and things like that as we continue here. So thanks so much for joining me today. There may be, there always may be another episode for the month. Who knows? There may be another episode of this Wednesday, but if there's not one on Wednesday, I will see you guys as usual on Friday for September. Thanks a lot for joining me, guys. I got some work to do, and I'll catch you then.